Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Backgammon is beautiful. It's with pleasure today that I introduce our guest, Guy Haslam, founder and craftsman of Bone Club Boards. Hi, Guy. Welcome to the call.
Hi Daniel, thanks for having me. That's great, thanks.
How are you doing today?
I'm good, if not just a little bit cold in the workshop. but I've got my radiator next to me, so I should be okay.
The radiator off camera. So today, guys, we're going to learn about Bone Club. You might be familiar with this company already. You might have played on some of Guy's boards. I've certainly seen them at the Blackpool Open. They are beautiful products. Guy's going to talk to us about making the boards. He's going to show us his workshop, his products, some of the events Bone Club runs. So stick around. So Guy, let's start with the name Bone Club. So how did this come about? The name.
Well, so the name Bone Club comes from many years ago when boards and dice and checkers, etc., used to be made out of bones. Um, I used to work at a casino once, and we used to play because you're playing croupier all the time, dealing that, your mind's spinning, and then you've got to have a break and come back to that same speed. So we used to play backgammon in the breaks and play really fast. And there was a man there that used to say when the Dublin cube got knocked off the bar, he would say the bones are talking to you. And that always stuck. That always stuck with me. And going back even further, you've got shaman, throwing the bones and predicting the future from the patterns of the bones. So it is really a history that came up with the name Bone. And the club was obviously, I wanted it to be something that people felt they were a part of. There was lots of, I wanted members of the club as well. And that was really important to me.
Okay, so
Initially,
so a lot of resonances in the name, a lot of historical resonance.
oh yeah.
So what about the logo? Can you talk about kind of your logo, how you came up kind of with that?
Right. Well, the logo, we wanted a character. He's called Bones, and we wanted the head of the character, and it was obvious that we wanted it to be quite cool and sort of fashionable and almost a bit sort of mystique to it as well. I used a friend of mine called Guy McKinley to work up a logo idea that I had done. He's an amazing artist, and he came up with a logo for us. And it's really something that we're proud of. There's many different stages of the logos to, whether you want the high detail one that you'll see on our website, or the real basic, just the elements of the hat, the face, the bow tie, on let's say a hot foil stamp where it needs to be really basic. So there's all different levels of logo. The color palette is again something that Guy and I worked on, and we were, I'm so pleased with those colors. The boards that we make in those colors, I feel really proud of. So it's good.
It's a very distinctive logo. You can certainly recognise it even without the name. It's
Yeah,
on t-shirts and caps. I think I saw Seb Wilkinson had a
yeah,
Bone Club cap on. You're a bit
yeah.
like
That's right.
McDonald's. You can you know the name by looking at the logo, which means
Yeah, thank you.
you must be doing something right. When did you first get into making boards? Is this a childhood passion, or did it come later in your life?
It came later in my life, but being a craftsman didn't come later in my life. I started playing backgammon when I was about seven, and my mum taught me to play backgammon. I'm not sure if I've improved since then, actually. So I've been playing on and off, but mainly on all the way through my life. Um, my dad was a joiner, and we used to do a lot of work together. Little making little bits and bobs, little sculptures and whatever, really. And I loved that. I was really good at design technology when I was young, but I use my skills and my hands to go down a different route, because I was quite scientific as well. So I used the hand skills to go and do dentistry, and I studied dentistry at Liverpool University, believe it or not. And and I realised when I got there it was the last thing I wanted to do. So I soon dropped that. I mean, I've had some crazy jobs in the past. I'll read through a few of them. I was a bingo caller. I was a cocktail barman. I did dentistry. I did psychology. I was a raft guy taking people down the rapids. I've been a croupier. I ran a design agency for a long time. I was as a designer. I've done sculpture. I did a furniture course, which was pretty cool as well. 2-year furniture course at Mancats. I've sold clothes online. I've been a magician. I've had a luxury brand website. I've designed a magic trick that I sold to America for quite a lot of money. And then I've actually finally found what I want to do, which is make backgammon boards.
Excellent. Well, you're somewhat of a renaissance man, I think we can call you, Guy. And so Bone Club is accumulation of all those skill sets, would you say? A bit of magic, a bit of dentistry.
Well, it is. I mean, it really is. That's so true. And I could talk to you about what I've gained from all of those different elements. But one of them that I'm really sort of proud about is the fact that I was a magician, and I did sell a beautiful magic trick to a company in America. And you know, I sort of, it's quite almost like a spiritual view that an object can have some sort of magical feel to it, and can actually, you know, if something's created in a magical way, it can then go on to achieve something. And I feel that the energy and the thought process and the way that I do the boards, I call them magical boards because, you know, that's what I intend them to be. And a lot of people who've received these boards say that they feel, you know, that they are beautiful magical things. So I'm really proud of that.
Can I ask what the magic trick was? Did you saw someone in half?
Yeah.
Or
it was you take a pack of cards, and you can hold the deck. I don't even need to touch it. You put a card on the table, just put it face down. Then I can't read the back of the card or anything, and I can tell you what the card is there and then.
We could have.
Or you, even better, you take the deck of cards and sneakily put the card in my top pocket. I don't even look at it, and I'll tell you what the card is.
Blimey. We should have added that to the video. That would have been good. So Bone Club, when did Bone Club start as a company? When was the official beginning, the inception point? Yeah.
Well, it started before then. As I lived in Manchester for quite some time with my wife, and we were coming back to it's near Blackpool. It's near Polton Field actually, and we were coming back here, and I knew some people because this is the area from where I was born. I didn't know loads of people, so I researched who the backgammon players were in the sort of circles of my friends type thing, and I just sent them an invite. I didn't say anything. I just said you're invited to the Bone Club and gave them an address and a date. And a lot of them turned up. You know, some didn't. But you know, we had about 16 people, I think, on the first night. And you know, I made some amazing friends that I'm still really good friends with now from that night. So that was called the Bone Club, and we used to play every Wednesday night. And you know, for 10 years we did this. And you know, we used to call ourselves drinkers with a backgammon problem, and we just really we had a great time on a Wednesday night. It was brilliant. And then this is something which I'm really proud of again. But I suffer from bipolar, and you know, I've been over the years I've been severely poorly, and I think you know, it's good for me to be able to say that and not hold it in. But one time, it was about 10 years ago now, maybe eight, 9 years ago. I was about as bad as you can get, and I was in a very low place. and I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't getting any better. And I kid you not, I grabbed a piece of paper and a pen, and I started drawing backgammon boards, and I've not stopped since. And so what I'm trying to say is, out of that really hellhole, something beautiful's come. So I'm really proud of that.
That's lovely. So board making is in some ways your salvation.
Yeah, too right. It is. Yeah, massively. Yeah.
And you can see that kind of love and beauty in the finished product. And later we will look at some of your products. I'm really interested, Guy, in the process of making a board. So I play backgammon. I have a lovely board, and I never really stop and think, how was this board made? I just play on it. It's kind of perfunctory, for me.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the process, and you can show us your workshop maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
How do you start? Do I just go to B&Q, buy a bit of wood? What do I do? Talk to me. What's the process?
Okay, so first thing is the commissioning process. I think is really important. And when a client comes to me and we have a relationship that they're happy to trust me to make a board for them, which is a big thing because these boards are expensive, and nobody wants to pay this kind of money and not get a beautiful product. So there is a trust element, and so we take it from there, and then we discuss whether it's going to be a leather board or a wooden board. That's your starting point, really. So if you go down a leather board route, what I do is then I will take my 3D package, and I'll model the board, and I'll make it to the specifications that they want. If there's any sort of personalization bits or anything different, then I'll model it in the package. We then talk about the color palette, which is something that is very special to us. We use a lady who's a color specialist, and it sounds ridiculous, but sometimes we talk for 2 to 3 weeks about the colours, and not just like 1 or 2 emails. I'm saying like we really talk about the colours. It goes on forever and ever, but we come up with something at the end that we're really, clients like, wow, this is amazing, and we're like, goodness, I can't believe we've arrived at this. And then also with the colour, sometimes somebody will come in and say, I want this colour. And there was somebody who had a ski suit. He had yellow pants and a blue top, and he said, I want it to match my ski suit. So we did. We made the board, and I'll show you that later on. We actually get the leather specifically made to those Pantones. So now you've got the colour, you've got the model, and then do a 3D visualization of the board. So people will see the actual, you'll get to see that later on as well. You'll see the board, and you can do it in a virtual reality thing where you can spin it around, you can put headsets on, there's all kinds of stuff, actually viewing your board. And then there's sign off. We've agreed everything, and then we're on to the next stage. But if you'd gone down the wooden route, then we're into a different setup completely, because then we're talking, well, what wood do you want to use? What do you want to match it with on the detail? Because if you choose a wooden board, you often get like the detail, the stringing and the little dowels. You have to choose which sort of complementary wood or metal that you use for that. Again, it's to choose the colours and the visualisation. So at that point, I can start. And with the leather boards, you make a box. That's plywood, the birch ply, not just any old ply. It's real nice ply.
Not just off the shelf being used.
And then you use we use ash for the walls, and we make a box. We open the box up, split it down the middle, so then the pieces fit beautifully. It's no good making a top box and a bottom box and hoping they fit right. They need to be like a pair. And then you wrap the leather. And it's quite a tricky thing to do. You need to get the thickness of the leather right. You need to get many different aspects of so it's just tight and not too tight and all these different things. Once you've got the leather on, you then start working on the playing surface, and I'll show you the machine that does that in a minute. But you cut the leather out into the shapes, cut the pips out, and then you jigsaw those together, lay the leather in, you've got to attach all the handle pieces, the locks, you have to make all the holes for those, and then the inner bar and the little walls and all that kind of jazz needs to go in, needs to be strong. You get the cube made. Shakers are really nice to make. They're really lovely. In fact, it's all really nice to make, but there's some bits that are really, really nice to make. And then skinners is something that take a long time. So the skinners, not all boards have skinners, but I think they're the best ways to achieve a good finish, and that's so on the inner walls of the board. You have a thin piece that goes around maybe 2 or 3 mil. It might be wrapped leather, it might be a piece of wood, but that sits on top of the board. What that does is creates a beautiful, perfect line from the skinner to the surface of the playing field. If you don't have that, you're relying on the playing field just dropping in perfectly, and it never really drops in perfectly. You always see a little bit of imperfection around the sides. So they take a long time, but I think they add to the design, not only from the sort of what I've described there, but I think aesthetically they make the board look more beautiful as well. So they take ages to put in because it's all little fiddly angles and tiny pieces of wood and
meticulous. I once bought a table from IKEA, and I think that was kind of my limit in terms of assembly. But quite a complicated and meticulous process for sure.
I think there's one other thing, which is the personalisation thing. So if somebody wants a board with a playing surface that's different from your standard pips and background, we can put anything on leather. We can do some beautiful designs, and I'll show you some later on. We do it in neoprene if you haven't got you haven't got the money for leather, and you can get some really, really special, unique to the person or the company, some really cool designs there. So I'll show you some of those later on as well.
Brilliant. So from start to finish, how long does it take you? Like how many hours to actually make a board, would you say?
Well, hours I don't know, but I can tell you, let's say I did 2 boards. I mean, we have it's not just me, there are other people that work on these boards as well, and they do help me out. And I'm the only full-time person, but if I get an order in, there's a significant amount of boards, then people come in and help me. So it's difficult to give an exact time. But let's say I was doing 2 boards, because often if somebody commissions a board, or let's say an oak board or a walnut board, I'll make 3 of them. But I won't put the leather in them, so I'll have the shells for the boards for next time. So three boards like that might take me 5 weeks, something like that. I'm guessing something like that. It takes a long time, because they've got to be sprayed as well. They've got to be lacquered. There's drying times. There's glue drying times. There's all this kind of stuff. So it takes a long time.
So when people say these boards are very expensive, well, they are expensive because of the amount of labour and time that goes into them. Sure.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you want to?
I'll show you the website.
Yeah, absolutely. You beat me to it.
Yeah. Right. Let's see if I can do this. Here we go. Right. So this is where we sit at lunchtime sometimes and have a game.
Lovely.
There's the beautiful artwork. This is the back shelving. Got loads of stuff on there.
You can see the logo there, in red,
Some of the leather hanging up there. Now this is where my leather work is done. The majority of my leather work there. I have a nice towel there for skiving. Some veneer. couple of boards, and then along here you've got small machinery.
Okay, so what are those machines you're just going past there? What do they do?
Okay. Right, so this one here that's just a little tiny little sander, a disc sander, so it spins around in. That's for doing the skinners, for getting your miters, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. It's very useful, tiny but useful. This is a buffing machine to buff up the checkers. I get them machined, you see, and they come as aluminium checkers, and I buff those up.
Nice.
This is an old jigger, but we love it.
What does that do?
So that puts the hot foil on the checkers, on the personalised areas, or on the cube or whatever. It puts the silver and the gold press on it there.
Yeah.
It's a little spindle moulder there, a little router table. Again, just to do the little tiny, that's where the blade is. Mm-hmm. Some timber. Here's a clicker press. So you see the knives down there. So you put your leather in there, and then you bring it down and click, and it cuts out those, like a cake cutter, you know, it really cuts those out. Mm-hmm. Here you've got a miter machine, so that cuts leather or skinners 45 degrees. You've got a skiver, and that cuts thins down leather.
Skiver, nice. Mm-hmm.
So that's the majority of this workshop. But in here, I'm not going to do the full tour in here, but you've got the larger workshop, which is where a lot of the work goes on.
Sure. What is that green thing you just went past? What's that?
That's a thicknesser. So you'll put in a piece of timber like this, and see that's rough on the top there. Mm-hmm. You'll put it through there, and it'll clean that off, and it'll make it. You can set it to any thickness you want, really. Mm-hmm. Big dimension saw over there. So yeah, that's the workshop. Upstairs there's another part, and that's got spray rooms in it as well. So that's where all the lacquer spray goes on.
So you have some boards in progress there, I can see on the tables. Can you show us those, Guy?
Oh yeah.
What are you working on now?
So this is a couple. This is somebody commissioned a board, so I made 2 extra ones. So I'm making a Bone Club one here. So it's got the Bone Club colours in, and really. So yeah, these are the skinners. These are the little things here. So you can see there. Can you see there?
The thin bits of wood. Is that what you? Yeah.
Sure. Tiny little thin bits. So along here. Along here, you see it's a perfect little join.
Okay. Nice.
And then I'll just pull these. So that's got the Bone Club logo in it.
Ah, nice. Yes.
So that is walnut, and that is actually inlaid. It's a solid pieces of walnut that go in there. Mm. Really, really beautiful. Really, when you get the lacquer on there, it's so nice.
Also, I like nice thin hinges. What about the clasps on the board and stuff? Can we have a look at those?
These are. Can you see?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're made in Italy. Those, they're really. I mean, you can see them here.
Nice.
So just the noise when it opens. You just know it's nice when it opens.
Beautiful. Oh, nice, lovely. And what is that? A leather board we're looking at?
Yeah, that's one of the leather boards. That's Bowie.
Mm-hmm.
It's a nice board. That's more sort of traditional colours, I suppose you could call it.
Yeah.
So that's one that's sold. Friend of mine's bought it. Sometimes we play on it.
And what about that one there with the metal checkers and the wooden surround?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay, so this one is this is walnut and oak. It's a tabletop board. Mm-hmm. It doesn't fold. It's got walnut and brass shakers, inlaid with a nice leather. This one comes with a Dublin cube, the ball cornered Dublin cube. Yeah, it's a nice board, really nice board.
I think I saw that board in Blackpool, and I remember the shakers are nice and weighty.
Yeah,
really nice to kind of hold. Can you shake some dice in them so we can hear the acoustics?
I've actually got smaller dice there, but which I prefer. But
very nice, lovely.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, so that's what's going on here at the moment.
Beautiful. So, how much would a Bone Club board set us back, Guy? Roughly.
I forget, really. I think a Bowie board, which is a leather board, I think for a tournament size board is around the £4,000 mark. I think the wooden boards are a little bit more than that. They're more like £4,500 to £5,000. And if you go to some of the rarer timbers, black and white ebony or Zebrano or something like that, then the prices go up more. You might be looking at a black and white ebony board. You might be looking at £6,500 to £7,000 just because the price of this timber is so expensive. But it's, when you get it, I'll show you some pictures later on. You know, that board is called Wonder, and yeah, it's nice. It's really, if you see the videos of the guy opening it, I don't know if you've seen them, Daniel, but it's hilarious. I mean, he nearly cries.
It's emotional.
I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we can link that video into a video description to this.
Thank you.
So we'll put that in. So the price point is around like a Jeffrey Parker, something like that. So top tier luxury brand. Like, how would you respond to people saying, "Oh, that's ridiculous"? You know, how can a board be that expensive to buy? Like, what would be kind of your response?
Well, it's a good question, and I think the answer is you can buy some of the boards. I sold a lot of boards at £119. I sold over 500 of those. So you know, there's still some of our boards online for, I think they're £200 now. So you know, we do boards that are like that. But if you want that luxury, you want the colours to match your plant pots. You know, if you want exactly as you want it, personalised the way you want it, then it's going to cost this money, isn't it? It's good, you know. It's these things take a lot of time. You know, there's a lot of care and love goes into it. So you know, that's why. And you know, it's not for everyone. I understand if people think it's expensive. I do understand that. You know, nice cars are expensive, and I'm really gutted I can't afford one. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't. You know, I don't have at the moment currently a Bone Club board. You know, because they're so expensive. When I make them, they just go out. So that's why I'm trying to make another one for me. But as soon as I make it, somebody buys it. Yeah,
lovely. You are just the conduit, aren't you? Yeah, exactly. So what is unique about Bone Club? So a lot of people, I've seen the posts online, they want to buy a board, but now there's so many suppliers of Jeffrey Parker, Gammoner, FM Gammon, you have Galaxy's boards. There's just so many places to shop. So why choose Bone Club? What is special about your boards?
Well, I think you're getting something a bit left field. I think you're getting something a bit more unusual than a standard player, whatever that is. But I think our boards have an angle on them and a bit more edgy than a lot of other boards. I think the colour palettes that we end up with are really special. And sometimes I see, I'm not naming any names, but sometimes I'll see a board and I'll go, not sure about those colours. And it's, you know, I think, and likewise, somebody must see our boards and go, I'm not sure about those colours. You know, it really works both ways, doesn't it? But I don't know. We just like to. I think with the history of where it's come from, and you know the care and love that goes into it, and the unique, the nice materials, some of the unique timbers that we use. You know, we're a bit left field, a bit different.
I like the personal story with Bone Club that you mentioned earlier, and I think the fact that you go to tournaments, you know, I've met you in person, so you can associate the personal story to the product. There's not this disconnect between the board and the maker, and I think that for me is important, to know where something kind of comes from.
Yeah. Can you hear that noise?
I can. Yeah.
Do you want me to go and tell him to stop?
Don't worry, it's all kind of atmospheric. So let's talk about your exploding cube. So that's one of the USPs of Bone Club, right? You have this completely distinctive cube. So do you want to talk about that cube?
Yeah, of course. So the exploded cube is an idea that I came up with, which was a bit like the Big Bang. You know, it came from a certain point and exploded out. So that was the idea, and I wanted to explode out on all the 6 faces, and that was the concept. And it took quite a while to get the right way of doing it. But let's see if I can just flip it. So this is one called RB, Richard Badman. Friend of mine. You can see the cube's really cool. This is a steel cube, really, really nice. But it can come in. This is a plastic.
Nice.
A lot more affordable. It can come in many different colours. It can come in brass. We can come in aluminium, silver. Yeah, we did one in silver, solid silver.
Do you actually make those yourself, those cubes?
No, I get them sent off to do it.
Okay.
Can you pause it and I'll just go and tell them to stop this upstairs or not?
No? I can't pause it as such, but if you want to go up quickly, then I can just spiel. Okay, so a short break. I hope you're enjoying the interview so far. Please check out my other interviews on my channel with Grandmasters Thomas Tenland. I've had Will Snellings, I've had Zenit Ziska, I've had Dirk Sheeman. Lots of famous figures in the backgammon world. You can go back through my catalogue of videos and check those out. So please do. Please like and subscribe. Please tell your friends. The site is gaining in popularity, so much appreciation. So here we are, perfect. So I just did talked about my channel. Tell us about the other USPs of Bone Club. Like, what else is really distinctive about Bone Club?
I think you just get, again, it's going on to something a little bit different. So for example, you've got this table here, which is, it's got the rise and fall mechanism, so you can play as a backgammon table, or you can have it as a table like that.
Lovely.
So it's a bit different. We also did one later on. I'm out of breath. One later on where you had to. You had like a handle on the side, which was an outdoor table. It was made of corian, and you wind up the handle, and it goes up and down, and it's so cool. It's a lovely one-off. It'll never be made again by the way. It was made by a very good friend of mine who's recently passed away, unfortunately, and he made a lot of our sort of unique stuff like that. So there'll never be another one of those, which is a shame.
Would you say every Bone Club board is a unique product for like the luxury end? Is every
The
one?
custom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, because it's the colours. Unless you go for the standard Bone Club colours, which a lot of people say, I just love those colours. Can I have those? Then you're going to get something unique, really. It's not like we ever go, I'm going to make 5 blue ones now. We don't do that.
We've got a bit of leather kind of left over.
Yeah. I think they're just a bit different. You know, I can't say a bit more than that. I mean, like the sourcing that timber there, that veneer, that black and white veneer, it's called pale moon veneer. It's just beautiful stuff, and it's using timbers like that, really.
Beautiful. Nice to kind of hear you talk about it. It's a love story. You know, your passion for your project comes across. So I'm curious, guys. So what is like the strangest request you've had? You know, from someone to make a board. You can anonymise it as much as you wish.
Oh, I know. I do know the strangest request. It was a guy from America, and he wanted to buy a present for his partner, a 40th birthday present. No, it was his 44th birthday present. And so his logo is 2 dice with a 4 and a 4. And his company's called Hard 8 Trading. And they play craps these guys are wealthy, by the way, and they play craps all the time, apparently. And they wanted the chips to be made like the Mirage Hotel Casino chips. So we did that with the names of the kids on. And they also wanted the playing surface to be a craps table. So it's a backgammon table, but it's a craps table. Which it's just like, what? So we worked together, and he was very good, actually. He really was great, the client, and we worked hard on it, and we came up with something. It's not, you know, you can't play craps on it, but it has a lot of the bets that are on craps. I'll show it to you later on. It was pretty out there. And he's the one that wanted the silver cube as well. So.
Oh wow, that sounds interesting. Do you have a favourite board, like one you're like super proud of making?
Yeah, it's a board that I've just finished recently, which you actually saw at Blackpool, which has gone out now, which is the Macassar ebony and brass tabletop board.
Okay.
But it's the same as that board, the walnut and oak one I just showed you over there. So the real interesting thing about this board, well, going back to unique points, is when we build a board, we try and use the golden ratio as much as possible, which is a ratio that you see in life, you see it in nature, you see it in economics, in arts, everywhere you see it. It's just something that it is aesthetically beautiful and also quite mathematically beautiful as well. So we use that as much as possible, and we did in the design of Shabaka, which is the board I'm talking about. But on top of that, the thicknesses of the Macassar ebony to the brass to the Macassar ebony, and bear in mind these are different thicknesses all the way along the board. Every single thickness is measured in millimeters to one of the Fibonacci sequence. So it is literally aesthetically and mathematically beautiful, and that's what we did. And it was such a hard board to make because we'd never done it before. Came up with so many challenges, gluing brass to ebony, the fact that the board moves a little bit if the glue dries. There was so many different things. We put it through the sander, it all fell apart. It was just like, I think it took me 3 or 4 months to make that board.
Wow.
But now, I'll show you some pictures afterwards. It's a beauty. And, you know, the guy who bought it off me, you know, he can't, he just can't believe that he owns it. He's really proud of it. And, I'm hoping to get these boards, exactly those, out to Dubai. I think in the Dubai market, it's just perfect for these guys. I think that's exactly what they want. They can afford it, and, you know, in some hotels or luxury villas or whatever, we could get these boards out there.
Yeah, fantastic. Hopefully this will help, you know, people see. Do you want to show us, Guy, then some of the images of some of the boards you've made, so we can have a look at that, or share your screen? Let's have a look.
Yeah. Right, let's see if I can get the right button. Right, start broadcast. Right, can you see that?
I can see a table and a lovely lawn. Yes.
Right, so this is that table that I mentioned where the playing surface goes up and down. It's a Korean surface. It's got the logo, the Bone Club logo, inlaid in it. The pieces were Korean, and it's lovely to play on. It slides really nicely. It was like a teak style wood, so it's an outdoor table. You can keep this table outdoors. It's perfect. That's what it's designed for. And when you wind it up, the handle, the playing surface makes it into a table. Those are the shakers. They weren't leather lined at that point, but they were eventually. And that's how the accessories came. And that handle is what winds up the table. I mean, it's just nuts, isn't it? The guy who bought this, who is actually the same guy who bought Wonder, which is the black and white ebony board, who fell in love with the Bone Club philosophy. He bought this as well. If you see his opening video for this, it's just hilarious. Really
lovely. It looks edible.
It does.
Yeah.
And there's the Bone Club mascot.
Nice.
Quite a traditional board there. That's just a Bowie board. That's another this table here. This is a table that I want to produce, but I'm not got around to doing yet. That's going to be black and white or pale moon ebony with ebony details, stainless legs. Oh, that's Johnny Depp. I don't know why that's in there. Sorry. So that's a walnut and brass board. That's the same board, the inside of the board. So that's an example of the colours that we spent a long time on.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, and you can really see the precision there. It's basically flawless, really, the way it's been made. Yeah.
Bone Club caps. Get them at the website.
Yeah.
So this is the sort of detail that we put on. Little brass dowels just to strengthen the joint and the aesthetically pleasing. Cups.
Nice.
This is a Bowie board.
Nice frame. Yeah. What is that, a leather frame, that one?
Yeah, that's full on leather. The Bowie is one of our popular boards, and it's just a full leather board.
Yeah.
This was done to match the client's wedding colours.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So this here is really cool. So if you see, the green is a hat, the orange is a bag, the blue, the peacock is a plate, and then you've got 2 other samples. So this was what the client requested, the board be in this palette. So those are the colours of the leather that we got. So you can see they're not blooming far off, are they?
Yeah, tremendous.
And then So that's I don't know what that is. And this is the visualization. So this is what you get with your boards beforehand. This is the kind of thing you'll get.
Beautiful, yeah.
And there's the finished board.
So do you always have the metal rimmed checkers? You always use a kind of same type of checker?
No. Sometimes we use acrylics. We don't always have. We often with the wooden boards we use like a Zebrano checker or an oak checker, whatever. We do different ones. They're all weighted as well, so they just feel nice in the hand.
Yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, and you can really pick over detail on the leather. Hang on, I didn't agree to having Donald Trump on my video. I'll edit this one out, I think.
So this is the exploded cube. I'll show a few examples of that. So that was one that we did for a Stussy client.
Wow.
You've seen that. That's the one with a bee on.
I think that's for my friend actually. I've seen that one. Yeah.
So you can do any logo, anything. Well, not any logo. Anything that's not too detailed. That was really difficult to do because it's the most detailed one I've ever done, and some of those gaps are really small. So it was dead hard to model to actually be something that would physically stand up and not fall apart when it was made. Yeah. So a lot of time went into that, but it's lovely.
The exploding cube. Yeah. Oh, nice.
Bone Club. You see it in all its detail there. It looks lovely.
Yeah.
That's the steel one that's got like a pink tint on it.
Yeah, that's lovely. Wow.
There's the silver one.
That's quite a cube, isn't it? It's quite impressive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be scared to take that cube. I'll just passing past everything.
Yeah. There's Seb.
Oh, there he is. Great guy.
So it's quite interesting with Seb. He's come on board as like a sponsored signed player. So he's the first Bone Club team player. So we're hoping that over time we're going to build up like a sort of super team of players, and maybe there'll be some competitions between manufacturers.
Absolutely.
I don't know. There's definitely something interesting there anyway.
Yeah.
So that's just showing a bit of personalisation. That's another one. This one's quite nice. It's split down the middle there, and we put it on, flipped it around either side, so you can really get that tree definition going in the middle of the board. Yeah. Really special.
Lovely.
That's a cost-effective tabletop board, neoprene surface.
How much was something like that? Set you back?
I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm guessing about 1,000. I don't know, something like that.
Sure.
That's how the boards come. If you want to have a storage box.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's the real Beatles picture. I don't know what that's doing in
there. Yeah. Lovely. Ooh.
So that's the ebony. That's the pale moon ebony board.
So we saw those pieces in your studio earlier, didn't we? Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly that.
Wow, that's very striking. Yeah, lovely.
Yeah. There's only so many people that can handle that board. That was when it was getting lacquered. It didn't end up that glossy, but it's quite nice to see it like that.
Yeah.
And there it is.
Yeah, stunning. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I think you'd be frightened to take that board out to play on. I don't think it's a tournament board. Mm-hmm. That's your private bar?
Yes, that's in my house. Yes.
after a hard day's labour, yeah. So,
So this is Goldie, which is the Zebrano board.
yeah.
Again, Goldie, the musician, was one of the first celebrities to actually have a Bone Club board. And if you see, he's done an opening online as well, which I'd like to put the link into, because again, it's hilarious. He's so excited by having it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is a Gorillaz inspired board that we did.
Oh, fantastic, yeah.
So it's a neoprene surface. Plays really nicely. It's a bit of bounce on the surface, but it's not too bad at all. I mean, the dice aren't rolling off everywhere, but to get a custom board like that is really, really good. It's, it's a good price. This is one that we did for Annabelle's. So I've got a relationship with quite a lot of the private members clubs well, they're all in Mayfair, actually, all of them in London, and they're all just unbelievable. And I'm lucky enough to get an invite to these places and run little tournaments for the members and help them out learning a bit about backgammon. And it's like the best job in the world.
You're like the James Bond kind of turning up, yeah. Sure.
So this is one that we did for Annabelle's, using their identity. That's Goldie again. Oh, that's Jay-Z. I don't know what he's doing in there.
Oh, right.
So that's the one that had to match his ski outfit. It was the yellow pants and the blue pits.
That's very nice. You don't often see kind of a yellow board. Yeah, very distinctive.
No, you're right.
Does that come with a sofa set included?
Yeah, and the river. Yeah, river as well.
Good.
This is that board that you've just looked at. So the logo on the other side is inspired by one of his skis. That is the brand of his skis, and it's the logo that we've edited and come up with this along the same sort of theme, really.
Yeah, brilliant.
That's the Bone Club one. Some dice. There's a nice look at the checkers.
Excuse me.
Bless you. So this is Shabaka, which is the one that I'm talking about that I'm probably most proud of. And you can see the thickness. This is what I'm talking about. The thickness of every section along the side of the board is to the Fibonacci sequence.
So, how long did that take you to put together, that board?
That's the one that took about 3 or 4 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, not like I was working on it 100% of the time, but I was working on it a lot of the time. Yeah.
Amazing, beautiful.
There it is now. It's got like a little, I don't know if you can see, there's a shadow gap next to it at the bottom there, so it's just slightly raised off, so it looks like it's floating.
Oh, it does, yeah. It's nice.
There's another one. Oh, R.I.P. And that's a logo. That's how did we do that? Oh yeah, we 3D printed the logo and then got it. I can't think of the word. Inlaid into the Zebrano. So that's the Hard 8 logo. Here we go.
Oh, this is the one, the craps one. Yeah.
Yeah, this so along here it's got all the craps bets, and you can see the checkers that have got the names of the kids on. Very cool.
That gives me an idea, Guy. I could get you to make a board and have all the take points and match winning chances on the right hand side. That'd be quite useful, yeah.
Good point.
So. Oh, that's a lovely one. I like the black surface. Are they quite common? Black surfaces.
Yeah, quite a few people go for black. Yeah, they do. But I agree. I think it's lovely, really nice. The yellow looks amazing next to it. It was a very cool board, though.
Elegant, yeah.
That was nice as well. And there's That's one of the first boards that we did. So yeah, that's
super. Some beautiful images. Let's go back to the camera so we can see your lovely face.
Okay. I have to do it. I'm pressing the wrong buttons.
Okay. Okay, we're back. Thank you so much, Guy. Beautiful products. I guess I would only add that the images are stunning, but you really have to kind of see the board physically to fully appreciate it. You know, the texture, the weight of the checkers, the finish on the wood. So, you know, if you do get a chance to see, you know, these at a tournament, then do that. Do you offer kind of work like workshop open days, or, you know, exhibitions where people can actually see these products?
I've not done that. The difficulty is, Daniel, is I've got, you know, we're not making hundreds of boards. So when we make a board, it's often for a client and it's gone. Or if we're lucky enough to make a spare one, then we've got a spare one, but that will go soon enough. Yeah. So I don't have 10 boards that people can look at. Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? I don't. I'd like to be in a position where I could make one of each of my boards, and so I've got a sample of each, but I'm not there yet. And I have to say, I'm not there on so many different levels. You know, we're just, you know, trying our best, trying to enjoy it, and, you know, we'll get there wherever there is, and, you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what are your ideal working conditions? Do you have, you know, classical music on in the background? Do you like complete quiet when you're working? So, what are the conditions for you?
Right. Well, I use a lot of music, many different types, but I have a playlist with a group of friends. We had a song every day, and we got over 70 hours of music, and generally I just put that on because it's all really amazing stuff. And, you know, I couldn't do it without music. I couldn't make the boards without music, but there are moments where I want silence. I'm doing something that's, you know, real concentration. But yeah, it's music, and it's when it's not so cold.
You're braving it for the video. Do you think you're getting better? Do you look back on the boards you made like a few years ago and think, I'm doing that better now, I'm improving that? Yeah.
Yes, I do, definitely.
What sort of aspects do you think have really like improved in your own craft?
It's all just attention to detail, really. That. It's attention to detail, and having, like, when I use a knife now, I don't pick it up and say, oh, you know, that'll do. I get it sharp. You know, it's probably sharp, and, you know, it does the job.
Sure.
So it's things like that, and just making sure everything's working right, and, you know, if something's a tiny bit short, you do another one. Yeah,
it's good. So you're a perfectionist.
Yeah. And
for better or worse. What does your family think about your board obsession? Is it an obsession? Yeah.
Yeah, it is an obsession. I think the kids are really like the fact that I'm doing it. They think they like things that are a bit unusual with my kids, and they like the fact that I'm doing boards. And Cooper, my boy, comes here, and, you know, I often get him to do a little woodwork project while he's waiting after school or whatever. You know, it's just it's a different thing for them to get into. And then Charlotte, bless her, she helps me all the way through it. And, you know, I certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. So
that's lovely to hear. So what other things would you like to talk about that we haven't mentioned? Are there any other things about the boards? Yeah.
A couple of things. One is the merch. We've got some merch available, which is not, it's not, it's just Bone Club merch. We've got caps, we've got hoodies, we've got tees, and they're all pretty nice. And the other thing is Whitby. We have a tournament that we put on, and Lee Gorton and I put it on, and we invite 24 people. It was 16 initially, but we've upped it to 24 people. We have this amazing hotel, which is very, very strange. Honestly, as you walk around, there's Victoriana stuff. Not like a little bit. There's just stuff everywhere.
In like Whitby.
There's a fox, and then there's a skull, and then there's a model, and it's just very strange, but beautifully done. And we run a tournament there, and it's not it's invitational, and it's not really about winning the backgammon. It's beer and backgammon, drinks and backgammon. We have a lovely time, some great people, great fun, and it's nice. So that's in November.
Brilliant.
It's very cool.
I think you should mention as well, I'm off to the Midlands Open next weekend, and I know there's like a Bone Club trophy that you can win a board. So you sponsor tournaments also.
I've sponsored a board there. It's not a custom board, but it's still a nice board. So that's available. And I'm in it. So I might win it.
You might win the board. Oh, so I'll see you at the Midlands Open, guy.
It's very unlikely that I'm going to win it.
I'm disappointed you're not kind of giving away the luxury kind of one. Maybe we can negotiate if I win it or something. So, what would you be doing if you weren't Bone Club? Would you be a magician or?
No, my days. I still perform for friends as a magician. I don't perform, at parties or events anymore. I think if I wasn't making boards, I'd be making furniture. Mm-hmm. I think that's what I'd really like to do. So, tables and chairs really is what I love.
Okay.
I got a passion for chairs, for seeing beautiful chairs. So I think that's what I'd be doing.
So if I need a couple of shelves putting up, Guy, I can just give you a call, yeah?
Yeah,
right. Fantastic. It's been great having you on the channel, Guy, and hearing your story, your passion, your love for what you do. That's always nice to hear. Seeing the beautiful designs, the exploding cube, your studio and workshop. Tremendous. I will put links into the video description, so if you want to purchase a board, if you want to contact Guy with any questions about the boards, I'm sure he'd be willing to answer those.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't contact him too late. He's got kids. But no, it's been a pleasure, Guy, having you on. Thank you so much for
thanks for
coming
having
into my
me. It's
channel.
been great. It's really, really enjoyable, and thanks. Good luck with the channel. It's only going onwards and upwards, so good luck with it.
Thank you so much, and good luck. What does the future of Bone Club hold?
Well, there's a little dream in my head somewhere at the back there where I'd like to have a venue, an actual Bone Club, a physical place where people could come and play backgammon and play other games and drink beer and listen to music. That's what I'd like to do, but we'll see.
Well, I wish you every success, Guy, and thanks for your time. I hope people enjoy the video and look up your beautiful products.
Cheers, Dan.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All the best. See you later. Bye bye.